got a full house of cheering fans, including Earl B., the home team's biggest fan. First game this year, pretzels, popcorn, beer. First round draft choice, Monday night is here. Sing the Stars and Stripes, announce the play-by-play. Offense, defense, deep pass, the wave.
They try to stop him with the man-to-man. Nickel, dime, 7 backs to the plan. Coin toss, timeout, a must-win game. The snap, the kick, the Hall of Fame. Earl B, he's our man. Earl B, the home team's biggest fan. Earl B, yeah, he is, yeah.
Welcome to George Daniels Stadium. It's week 3 of high school football, and tonight we have the Lorain Admiral King Admirals playing host to the Elyria Pioneers. And John, you know, I was thinking earlier, first of all, did these two teams play last year?
I believe so, at Elyria,
Okay.
Eli Stadium.
At Elyria, because I recall these two teams going at it all the time in the old Buckeye Conference, the Erie Shore Conference.
Sure.
And look, we have the Pioneers here tonight. It's going to be a great game, and I look forward, John, to quite a passing game, because we've got quarterback Matt Rossitano for the Admirals. And of course, in the first game here at George Daniels Stadium that you saw on TV 20, the big win against Toledo Libby, Rossitano broke a school record with the number of touchdown passes. On the other side, we've got the fine quarterback for the Elyria Pioneers, Josh Bodnar, who has broken the all-time school record for passing at Elyria, and we'll be talking more about that during the game. So do you kind of see the game as being a real passing endeavor here?
Well, when you've got an Admiral King quarterback by the name of Matt Rossitano, who's broken the school record with 5 touchdown passes in 2 games ago, and then you have the quarterback from Elyria, who has already broken the total passing yardage for the Elyria Pioneers, and they've been around for a lot of years in high school football. I would say that you're going to see both teams put the ball up in the air. And the second thing I'd like to comment on is that I think this is a very critical game for both teams, in the sense that Admiral King came off a real tough loss last week, 50-0 to Avon Lake, and the Elyria Pioneers haven't got on the one-loss record yet. So you would like to think that both these teams are setting themselves up to walk out of here a victor, and the one that doesn't, it's going to be a little bit tough next week.
Absolutely. For example, as you indicated, the Elyria Pioneers are 0-2 on the season, while the Admirals are 1-1. If the Pioneers should win, they'll be 1-2, and if the Admirals lose, obviously, they too would be 1-2. But I'm confident the Admirals would rather go and have a 2-1 record. Likewise, I'm sure Coach Kirschbaum's Pioneers want to go back to Elyria with a win. And we also, by the way, would like to welcome Media One. This telecast will be shown in Elyria as well as on Adelphia here in Lorain. We'll be back with the opening kickoff and the start of tonight's ball game right after this timeout for Impressions.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
Set for the opening kickoff to get this big game underway. The Admiral King Admirals playing host to the Elyria Pioneers. Hi everyone, I'm Ron Baccalar along with my partner John Nesbitt, our cameraman, producer, and director Bob Quinlan. Kicking off for the Pioneers, Kevin Viland. Deep receivers for the Admirals, David Hands and James Williams. The Admirals won the toss, defending the south goal, electing to receive. The Pioneers obviously kicking off. They'll defend the north goal. And in and out of the hands of Jeff Tillman. Loose ball, but the Admirals apparently have maintained the possession. Making the stop for the Pioneers, Matt Nagy, a 160-pound junior. So the Admirals will have a 1st and 10, the ball on their 26-yard line. Action underway. Matt Rossitano, the quarterback, Alan Penny, the fullback. In motion, James Williams over to the far side. Rossitano hands off to Penny. Very little gain on the play, if any. Brought down by a host of Pioneer tacklers. Checking the offensive line for the Admirals, the 2 tackles are Jesus Sanchez and William Gordon. The 2 guards are John Evans and Mark Fox. The center is Jake Harder. In the backfield, Rossitano at quarterback, Alan Penny at fullback, James Williams the wingback. Jeff Tillman, the other wingback for the Admirals. In motion, James Williams. Rossitano, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. The Admirals on the 2nd and 9 play. It'll be 3rd down, possibly to the line of scrimmage.
Ron, on the first 2 plays, Admiral King, the first play, opened up with the run and shoot, and they put James Williams in motion to the Elyria side and ran a fullback dive, as you said. This time, they showed the same formation, same motion with James Williams, and they showed a speed option with Matt Rossitano coming to the King side with little gain.
All right, on the 3rd down, 3rd and about 8. Rossitano to pass, gets it over to Tillman, and Tillman's going nowhere. It'll be a 4th down situation for the Admirals and a punting situation. Looking at that Elyria defensive lineup, in the front 5, Dwayne Ham, a 215-pound senior, Anthony Quinn, a 260-pound senior. In the middle, Berta Stewart, a 197-pound senior, Greg Godbold, a 183-pound senior, and Mike Kirschbaum, a 185-pound senior. Those are the front 5 for the Pioneers. We'll check the rest of their defensive lineup in a moment. Jordan Buck will be doing the punting for the Admirals and almost blocked. The ball landing on the 48, and it will roll and down on the 40, where the Pioneers will take over 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line.
On the 3rd down play that Admiral King ran, they didn't put anybody in motion. They tried a quick little hitch to James Tillman and Jeff Tillman, and Elyria had excellent coverage. So the first 3 plays for Admiral King's offense really didn't net much yardage.
All right, the Pioneers ready to go on offense. In the backfield, quarterback is Josh Bodnar. The fullback is Bertus Stewart. The tailback is Jeff Bivens. And the give is to the tailback, Bivens, and he's going to be brought down for a loss on the play. Defensively for the Admirals, Mark Fox making the tackle, a 254-pound junior. Also in the front 5 for the Admirals defensively, Alan Penny, a 175-pound senior. In the middle, John Evans, a 225-pound junior. On the right side, Jesus Sanchez, a 265-pound senior, and William Gordon, a 185-pound senior. A loss of 2 yards, 2nd down and 12 for the Pioneers. The ball now on their own 38-yard line. The pitch goes to the Pioneers' Jeff Bivens. Bivens, the tailback, brought out of bounds here on the near side.
Ronnie, on this 2nd down play, and Admiral King opened up real nice defensively with Mark Fox making a tackle for a few yards loss. Elyria runs a real interesting set here. They showed a sweep. They pulled the front side guard. But the offensive set that Elyria runs, they run 2 tackles strong side over and a tight end weak. So if you're looking on the screen, you're going to see 2 tackles here on the right side, a 66 and 73.
All right, that was a pickup of 3 yards on the play, 3rd down and 9. And the give is to the fullback, Bertus Stewart. Stewart gets the ball across the mid-stripe, and that's going to be a first down for the Pioneers. John Gall making the tackle for the Admirals. The linebackers for the Admirals are Jake Harder and Jeff Tillman. The corners are John Gall and Chris Miller, and the safeties are David Hands and James Williams.
Interesting call. 3rd and long, you normally don't see teams run fullback traps, but I think the best runner in this Elyria backfield is the Elyria fullback.
Bodnar, the quarterback, calling the signals. And he gives to his big fullback, Bertus Stewart, a 197-pound senior. Picks up good yardage on that play. Tackle made by William Gordon.
And guess what? If it was good enough to net them a first down on the previous play, they did the fullback trap again. And once again, another interesting formation here. Elyria is now in a one-back set. They take their tailback and they put him in a flanker position, what I call a slot, but they run tackle over, tight end weak. Look at the one-back set now.
All right, that was a pickup of 6 yards on the play. It's now 2nd down and 4. The ball on the Admirals' 43-yard line. Bodnar to pass, looking for a receiver on the sideline. And a flag. The intended receiver was Ivan Brown, a 140-pound junior. James Williams covering on the play for the Admirals. Might be a late hit while Brown was out of bounds. We'll see. The officials apparently are going to assess this one against the Admirals as they are talking to the Pioneers.
What happened here was one back set, tight end to the top of the screen, double tackle down here to Admiral King's side. And they had the slot formation, the flanker here to Admiral King's side. The slot man or the flanker did a little square out, about 7 yards and out, and he bobbled the ball. The quarterback rolled out to the bench, to Admiral King's bench, and as the ball was thrown, the flanker bobbled the ball, but then in the official's opinion, James Williams had a late hit once the ball was incomplete, and that's one of those situations where it's touch and go, and I feel bad for James on that.
And on the personal foul, the officials march off 15 yards for the Pioneers against the Admirals, giving the Pioneers a 1st and 10 on the Admirals' 28-yard line. The center for the Elyria Pioneers is Chuck Hood, a 214-pound senior. We'll check the rest of that offensive line in a moment. Bodnar on the 1st and 10. And he pitches back to Jeff Bivens. Bivens running on the far side, gets to the 25 and pushed out of bounds by Chris Miller. And that's going to be a pickup of about 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 5 for the Pioneers.
Excellent job by Chris Miller, the strong side corner. And if he didn't come up and make the play in the sweep, Admiral King was in trouble. But if you noticed what Elyria did now, they had an eye backfield with 2 receivers to the sideline. Chris Miller did a nice job the wide side of the field.
2nd down and 5. Ball on about the 22.5-yard line. Pitch back to Bivens. Bivens coming to the near side. Now breaking into the middle, and he is hit around the 20-yard line. It'll be close to a 1st down. Tackle made by John Evans for the Admirals. Looking at the rest of that offensive line for the Pioneers, the left guard is Brian Glowacki, a 215-pound senior. The tight end is Jesse Lottie, a 200-pound senior. The right guard is Anthony Quinn, a 260-pound senior. The inside tackle, John Jareco, a 240-pound junior. The outside tackle is Mike Holtzman, a 220-pound junior. Split end is Mike Parrott, a 155-pound senior. As we indicated, Bodnar the quarterback, Bertus Stewart the fullback, Jeff Bivens the tailback, and Zach Kaufman is the flanker. And the give is to the fullback, Bertus Stewart. Tackle made by Jake Harder.
The plays that we have seen so far by Elyria, and this is called an unbalanced line, tackle over, tight end weak. In this play, this 1st and 10 play, they opened up with their fullback, the left guard trap. The plays that they've had success with are the sweeps either to the short side of the formation or to the long, and the trap with the fullback running the ball.
Ball is on the 14-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards, 2nd down and 7 for the Pioneers. Bodnar pitches back to Bivens. Bivens looking for some running room, gets up to around the 10-yard line before he is brought down by a host of Admiral tacklers. Leading the charge for the Admirals, a 170-pound senior Jeff Tillman.
All right, one distinct advantage of an unbalanced set is that you make people think from the Elyria point of view that you're going to run to that tackle over, but what Elyria's been ran on this last play was the sweep to the tight end or the short side of the formation. Nice job, Jeff Tillman.
3rd down and about 3 yards to go for the 1st down. And the give again is to Bivens. Looks like he's picked up the 1st down, but there is a flag on the play. Tackle made by William Gordon.
First time that Elyria has shown an isolation play out of the eye, which means true fullback in Bettis Stewart, true tailback. The fullback got the linebacker for Admiral King, and the tailback followed behind the block because Elyria has shown a lot of sweep and a lot of trap. The Elyria huddle is walking backwards, and I would say Admiral King's happy about that. Seems to be against Elyria.
Momentary success for the Admirals by putting the Pioneers back through a holding penalty. The ball back on the 16-yard line. 3rd and 10 for the Pioneers. Ivan Brown split wide to the right. In motion is Zach Kaufman, and the give is to... All right, we've got Nat Nagy now in at tailback for the Pioneers, a 160-pound junior. Tackles made by Jeff Tillman and James Williams. The ball is on the 10-yard line where it's going to be 4th and about 3.
Elyria had double wing, true fullback, split end Admiral King side, put the wing to Admiral King side in motion, and gave the ball on a trap to the left wing back. He nearly popped it. Critical play, 4th and about 3 or 4. Let's see what Elyria comes up with.
On the big 4th down play, the give is to Nat Nagy. End zone touchdown. Nat Nagy, the 160-pound junior tailback, takes the ball in 10 yards for TD.
Okay, Ron, on the play, split end over, Admiral King's side, I formation. I formation is seen to indicate that Elyria is either going to run the sweep, short side or strong side of the formation, or run the ISO. This time they ran the ISO behind the double tackles, walked in the end zone. Nice play, Elyria offense.
Holding for the Pioneers, Nick Russo. And Mike Kirschbaum will be attempting the extra point.
Coach's nightmare. Elyria's got to call a timeout because they don't have enough people on the field. And Dick Kirschbaum is politely putting his arm around the young player's ear hole.
Very politely.
And saying, please get in there when you're supposed to.
All right, we've got 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Pioneers 6, the Admiral King Admirals nothing. We're going to have the try for the extra point with 11 members of the Pioneers now on the field. Russo, as we indicated, holding. Kirschbaum will be attempting the extra point. The ball is in the air and a whistle. And the officials indicate it's good. It's good. Now the Pioneers with 4:10 remaining in the first quarter on top over the Admirals, 7-0.
Their extra point just a little bit differently. I mean, it's not different in the sense that it isn't used other places in the state. They don't line up in a traditional extra point setting. They want to see if the defense is going to adjust to it. If not, they may do a running play. Admiral King adjusted. They came down for the traditional extra point, shifted into it, and made the extra point.
Kevin Violin kicking off for the Pioneers. Ball taken by the Admirals' David Hands. Hands still on his feet and finally brought down just over the 30-yard line where the Admirals would take over. 1st and 10.
Getting back to that extra point real quickly, Elyria will have their two wings, their entire offensive line up in the left hash. If Admiral King doesn't respect that, they could shovel past the ball to a wing and run over there. Admiral King respected it. Elyria shifted down, kicked the extra point.
Matt Rossitano, the quarterback, in the shotgun position. James Williams in motion. Rossitano with the ball, coming to the near side, keeping it. He's up close to the 40-yard line. And if that's where they spotted, that will be a pickup of 8 yards. Tackle made by Burtis Stewart, the nose guard, a 197-pound senior. And they spot the ball just inside the 40, pickup of 8, second down and 2.
Admiral King is showing something a little bit different. Run and shoot, put the wing back in motion, but they had the full back in a 2-point stance, which indicated they would throw. Matt Rossitano made a run to the Admiral King side of the bench for a nice yardage.
Rossitano taking the snap under center. And the give is to Alan Penny, and a flag in the backfield.
So once again, adjustments are always interesting. I was almost going to say that they were going to throw the ball in 1st and 10 because that fullback was up in a 2-point stance. But Matt took the snap, which wasn't that good, and turned it into a nice 8-yard run. The second play, they show the fullback trap. Looked like nice push by the Admiral King offensive line, but it looks like it's going to be obsessed against the Admirals. Too bad for Admiral King. Nice play.
Big loss for the Admirals. 10 yards marched off. Ball back on the 28-yard line, where it is now second down and 14. Williams in motion. Rossitano looking to pass. Throws over to Williams on the far side. Williams juking around and finally brought down around the 35-yard line. If it stands, that'll be a pickup of 7 yards on the play.
Nice scheme here. Run and shoot again. James Williams goes in motion, goes across the formation. Then he kind of settles out into the flat. The split end, the Admiral King split end at the top of the screen, did a curl, but they threw to James Williams in the flat, and it was a nice pickup for 7 yards. Critical play here. 3rd and about 7 or 8. Let's see what the run and shoot comes up with.
Williams in motion again. Rossitano coming to pass, looking for a receiver, and looking, finally throws and connects. David Hands on the reception, and a big first down play for the Admirals.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you why this is a great reception by David Hands. Let me set it up for you. Right hash, 3rd and 7, run and shoot, goes in motion to trips to Elyria's side. Matt Rossitano bootlegs to the Admiral King side, and I'll tell you what, let me pick this play up after you call it, Ron.
All right, the ball spotted on the 41-yard line in Pioneer territory, 1st and 10 for the Admirals. And the officials are stopping the clock with 2:03 remaining in the first quarter, and a timeout being called by the Pioneers.
Can I pick up this play? Okay, the one that was just before I ran out of time here. So Matt's got the boot. David Hands was the initial receiver to the Admiral King sideline. Matt didn't like what he saw because David was covered. So Matt looks like he's going to take the ball and run to the Admiral King sideline, hovers around the line of scrimmage. David doesn't stay there. David moves and gets himself open and just, gave Matt a chance to get the ball to him. So I credit Matt for the throw. I credit David Hands for the catch because he made something happen after he was covered. Nice play, both players.
Matt Rossitano, one of the tri-captains for the Admirals in tonight's ball game, ranks 5th in passing in the greater Lorain County area. Williams in motion. The give is to Williams. Williams on the far side, crosses the 40, gets up to about the 39-yard line, where it's going to be second down and 8.
We saw this against Toledo Libby 2 weeks ago. They put James Williams in motion, but it's deep motion behind Alan Penny, the fullback. And what Matt did was he gave the ball to the left halfback, James Williams, and Elyria's 4-3 defense, something that Avon Lake ran last week. Nice east-west movement. Made a nice play on James Williams.
Chris Miller split wide to the left. And the give is to Tillman. Tillman, no gain on that play. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Okay, run and shoot look. James Williams has been going in motion most of the game. Now it's the right halfback, Jeff Tillman. Matt faked the ball to the fullback, Alan Penny, gave it on a second handoff to Jeff Tillman, who was in deep motion. Elyria did a nice job. No gain whatsoever. 3rd and long.
Possibly a pass play by Rossitano, who is 21 for 40 in the passing department. 233 yards coming into tonight's game. That's a 53% completion.
The critical play that they came back with on 3rd and about 8 is the one you saw before that picked up 7 earlier in the series, where James Williams went in motion across the formation. He went a little bit in the flat. Matt rolled that way on a 5-step drop and dinked it off to James Williams. But not much net. Now the question is Admiral King in 4-down territory? Looks like they are, according to the Admiral King coaches.
37 seconds remaining here in the first quarter of play. Clock stopped on that incomplete pass. 4th down, big play for Matt. Williams in motion. Rossitano looking to pass. He's being chased on the far side. Lets one go, and it's intercepted. Dropped. Well, we're going to let the officials work this one out.
Well, I saw a football on the ground, so there's no way they can credit an interception, but Elyria is going to take it over on downs. The run and shoot look.
Well, apparently it was intercepted because they're bringing the chains back.
Well, then they said that what they said is that the Elyria interceptor had the ball in possession, the whistle was blown, then he dropped it after that.
Okay. 1st and 10 for the Elyria Pioneers. The ball on their own 27-yard line. Josh Bodnar, the quarterback, calling the signals. And the give is to the tailback, Bivens. Bivens picks up 2 or 3 yards on the play. Tackle made by Alan Penny. We were indicating at the top of the game, John, that Josh Bodnar in 1998 broke the school record for passing in a season with 1,062 yards. And this first quarter is about ready to come to an end with the Admirals trailing the Elyria Pioneers 7-0. And we'll be back with the start of the second quarter right after this timeout for First Federal Savings of Lorain.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on cars, boats, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 6 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, and Port Clinton, with a 7th office opening soon in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
Overall, the record was held by Jay Bender, a former quarterback for the Pioneers, with 1,286 yards. That has been already broken by Bodnar this season, and we're only in the 3rd game. Bodnar on a keeper, driven out of bounds here on the near side at about the 35-yard line. Chris Miller doing the number for the Admirals. Bodnar in the first game had 139 yards, passing 147 last week in their loss to Berea Mid-Park. And at this point in time, Bodnar has the all-school record with 1,348 games. This game to go yet, plus 7 more after this. So his name will go down in the Pioneer record books and should stay there for some time. On the 3rd down and 2. The give is to Bodnar on the keeper, picks up the 1st down. Fake the handoff to Jeff Bivens, but on keeping the ball, running to the far side, picks up the first down for the Pioneers.
Okay, what they did here on this play is they pulled the front side guard. And it looked like, in that situation, that they were going to give it to the fullback who filled for that right guard. But the quarterback, Bodnar, kept the ball. The play before he ran to the short side. This time he ran to the strong side. Seems to be an effective runner.
Ball on the 42-yard line. Bodnar's pitch to Bivens. Bivens looking for running room here on the near side. And he is stopped by Chris Miller. Also in on the play, Alan Penny.
Great job by the Admiral King short side defense. It looked like Jeff Bivens on a short side toss was going to be able to reach the corner. The defensive end from King strung it out. The corner came up. Jeff Bivens tried to play off the block. They had him inside out. Nice play.
Pickup of 2 yards on the play, 2nd down and 8. The ball just inside the 45-yard line. We are now in the second quarter of play. Elyria on top, 7-0. And moving. And the give is to the fullback, Berta Stewart. Stewart picks up another big first down for the Pioneers. James Williams making the tackle for the Admirals. They're going to spot that ball on about the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 for Elyria.
Ron, we've said this before. Admiral King had trouble 2 weeks ago with Toledo Libby when somebody ran smash mouth football at the linebackers. That was a perfect example of the left guard trapping, the big fullback Bettis Stewart running the football, and Admiral King's going to have to shore up those linebackers.
On the 1st and 10. And it's Bodnar looking to pass, throws down the field. The intended receiver, Zach Kaufman, covering on the play for the Admirals, David Hans.
Great job by David Hans. The quarterback.
Correction on that, John. That was Jeff Tillman, number 84, Jeff Tillman.
Oh, I thought 83 broke it up. All right. Okay.
Jeff Tillman. Let's give the credit where it's due.
Well, absolutely. Jeff Tillman did a nice job, played on the inside hip of the receiver. The quarterback,
Bodnar
rolled out right, and the free safety did a nice job with it.
2nd down and 10. And the give this time is to the fullback, Stewart, but he is met right at the line of scrimmage by big Jesus Sanchez, 265-pound senior.
Elyria likes to establish that trap. They've run it 4 or 5 times this game, but the weak side defensive tackle from Admiral King would have none of it, and Jesus Sanchez made a nice tackle. Remember last year when he had that knee injury that kind of put a damper on his season, so it's nice to see him back and strong.
In fact, a loss of about a foot on the play, but we'll make it 3rd down and a long 10. On the crossbuck, the give is to Nat Nagy. Nagy again, loose in the end zone, touchdown. His 2nd touchdown on the night with 9 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the second quarter of play.
Number 1 defensive rule, whenever you have wingbacks, and Elyria that time had double wingbacks and a single back fullback. They put the right half wingback in motion. Admiral King maybe watched the motion, worried about the fullback. They did not keep track of the left half, and what he did was he followed that left guard. And I'll tell you what, I got to mention the left guard because he must be doing a great job. Number 79, Brian Galwicki, and they've run behind him on traps all night. Nice counterplay. I'm sorry.
Russo will be doing the holding. Kirschbaum on the extra point. It's in the air, and it is good. The Elyria Pioneers, with 9:30 remaining in the second quarter, now lead the Admirals 14-0. And a reminder that we want to give big thanks to Tops Supermarket for supplying all of the goodies up here in the press box for the media. We are enjoying it immensely. Violin will be kicking off for the Pioneers. Deep receivers for the Admirals, David Hans and James Williams. And the kick. Taken on the 10-yard line by David Hands. Hands coming over to the near side. Gets the ball just over the 25-yard line. Brought down by a host of Pioneer tacklers. Leading the charge for the Pioneers, Ivan Brown.
Ron, real quickly, not on the kickoff return that David Hands had. In the previous play, the previous two plays that Elyria ran, misdirection with that wingback. Admiral King's going to have to keep track of the wingbacks because Elyria likes to trap with the fullback and trap with one of the halfbacks. They're going to have to watch the misdirection.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Admiral's looking to put some points on the board. Williams in motion, coming to the near side. And the give in the backfield and tackled Ellen Penny. That's going to be a loss on the play.
Bad sign for the Admirals in this sense that they had to run and shoot, put James Williams into motion to trips to Admiral King's side. But we couldn't pick out one tackler with red pants because there were about 4 or 5. Defensive line for Elyria seeming to get upfield and take care of that fullback play to Alan Penny.
Loss of about a foot or two, 2nd down, make it a long 10. Clock is running with 8:45 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Rossitano looking to get some offense started here. On the fake give, he's going to go back to pass, and he is nailed. Brought down back around the 15-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Kirschbaum, a 185-pound senior and definitely the son of the Pioneer coach, Dick Kirschbaum.
That was my question.
Who is, by the way, in his 2nd year leading the Pioneers. Last year in 1998, the Pioneers were 3-7 on the season, 1-5 in their Lake Erie League. And he has dedicated himself and his team to doing much better this season. 64 players on the Elyria Pioneer roster, while the Admirals have 32. Rossitano back to pass, looking, and the intended receiver for the Admirals, John Gall. Sure would have been nice if he could have grabbed that one and hung on to it, especially on this night, his birthday. So we wish John a happy birthday.
On the not this play, the previous play, Matt went back to what's been successful for him, for which is the boot. But number 24, Mike Kirschbaum, got a lot of upfield penetration and took the boot away from Matt. This time they put the fullback in motion to the top of the screen. Matt tried to hit John Gall. And for the birthday boy, it just didn't happen on that play. Incomplete pass.
David Hands will be punting from the goal line. This should give the Pioneers some good field position. And the kick is blocked. Came off the body of Nat Nagy. And it's Mike Kirschbaum who picked up the ball, and the Pioneers will now have it 1st and 10 on the Admiral's 15, or make it the 16-yard line. What an opportunity again for the Pioneers.
From the kicking point standpoint of Admiral King, I believe on the up front line, the linemen have a 2-point responsibility, 2-step. You've got to hold the people out long enough before you cover the punt. They did not take care of step 1. Did not hold the people out.
Bodnar, the quarterback, fakes the handoff, taking the ball to the far side, and he's going to run. Gets to the 15, gets inside the 15, and finally brought down by a host of Admiral tacklers. Jake Harder in on that stop along with Chris Miller.
Okay, Elyria's offensive standpoint on this play. They had just shown a counter the previous series to score their touchdown. They showed the same play, but this time with the right half. They showed a boot to Elyria's side. To Admiral King's credit, the secondary did a great job taking away the tight end coming across, but the quarterback, Bodnar, made a couple people miss before he went down.
Ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line, 2nd down and 3. And the pitch to Bivens. Bivens right up the middle, and he is hit hard. Making the big stop for the Admirals, Jake Harder, a 242-pound senior.
Jake Harder is one of the captains, along with Matt Rossitano, and from that linebacker spot did a nice job on Jeff Bivens. Interesting play here. The fullback and the tailback from Elyria split. meaning the fullback went right and Jeff Bivens carried the ball left. It was either a mistake by the fullback or a misdirection play by Elyria, which seems to be part of the theme of this game.
Ball is spotted on the 7-yard line, and the officials are calling timeout with 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And we've got Jake Harder kind of shaken up on that play, and they're going to assist him off the field.
Who went in?
David Rice. David Rice, a 165-pound junior, replacing Jake Harder in the Admirals' defensive lineup. And we've got another timeout on the field and an opportunity for me to remind you. Third down play, third down, less than a yard for the Pioneers. Bodnar, the quarterback. The Admirals defense up tight, and the ball is given to the the fullback, Bertus Stewart. The 197-pound senior pulls his way up for the first down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Pioneers.
You knew that that play was going to be given to the fullback because on that play, the offensive lineman went toe-to-toe for Elyria, and all they did was just go gap over linebacker, man blocking, big fullback runs behind him. Elyria dominated the line on that play.
Ball spotted on about the 1-yard line. Pioneers have 4 chances to get that ball in the end zone. Don't think they'll need all 4. Bivens in the end zone. Bivens, a 185-pound senior. Touchdown for the Pioneers.
Play before, they showed the handoff open up to the fullback. Bertus Stewart. This time Jeff Bivens on an isolation, and once again an isolation is where the fullback leads. And like you alluded to, Ron, there was only 1st and goal at the 1, so they didn't need much of a push to get in. Nice job by Elyria's offense capitalizing when they had to. Look at the setup now, how Elyria will show this. And then if they don't respect it, they'll run something from it. Admiral King respected it. They come back to a normal setup now for an extra point.
Okay, Nick Russo will be doing the holding on the point after, and Kirschbaum putting the foot to the ball, and it's good. With 5 minutes and 49 seconds remaining here in the first half of play, it's the Elyria Pioneers 21, the Admirals nothing. Kevin Violin kicking off for the Pioneers again. The 4th time that he has kicked off here in this first half to open the game, and after 3 touchdowns. Puts the foot to the ball, taken by the Admirals' James Williams. Williams breaking loose. He's to the 40, the 45, across the mid-stripe. He is breaking towards the middle and brought down finally in Pioneer territory. Tackle made by Mike Kirschbaum. The biggest and longest kickoff return yet this season.
I'm going to tell you why it popped. Because of every game we've done this year, which is our 3rd one, and we saw it last week with Southview. If you have coverage that does not break down, and the Elyria kickoff coverage didn't break down on James Williams, and to his credit, he hit an open seam. And I'm telling you what, you give James Williams an open seam, and like you say, it's going to be a very successful play.
Seems to be a little confusion on the part of the Admirals, so they call a timeout.
Okay, before we still got the timeout here. We've got the camera focused on Michael D'Angelo, and I wasn't going to say his nickname, but he is known as Mad Dog. And I've got to say something about Michael. He has been a volunteer in Lorain City Schools for about as many years as I can remember. And he's just around Admiral King High School doing everything that needs to be done, and we've wanted to recognize his good efforts.
All certainty that if we had more Michael D'Angelos, it would be a great world in which we live.
I agree.
1st and 10 for the Admirals on the Pioneers' 35-yard line. Here's the golden opportunity. Tillman in motion. The fake give is to Penny, and it was Rossitano on a keeper. All right, Berta Stewart for bringing down Rossitano for a loss of 5 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 15.
Interesting play. They put Jeff Tillman in long motion. I think he almost forgot to go. They faked it to the fullback, Alan Penny, going to the left. And I don't know if Matt was supposed to keep it or if that was an option with Jeff Tillman, but Berta Stewart certainly took care of everything there. Big loss.
Rossitano to pass, throwing over to the far side, and the reception, beautiful pass play made by David Hands, 145-pound junior.
What a little competitor he is. He is definitely not the biggest kid on the team. I'm talking about David Hands. He is not the fastest kid on the team, but I'll tell you what, something like his namesake, if you put something in the air, David Hands is going to grab it. It was a 3-step drop. David was on the Elyria top of the screen. He simply ran a streak. Matt put it up. David outjumped the defensive man. We've got a 1st down play.
1st and 10 for the Admirals on the Pioneers' 17-yard line. Williams in motion. Rossitano to pass, gets it out to Williams. Williams to the 10, the 5. He's still on his feet. He's in the end zone. Admirals on the board with 6 points.
This is the 3rd time that Admiral King has shown this play. Run and shoot, left half went in motion, ended up in trips to Admiral King's sideline. Matt Rossitano rolled out on the 5th step, threw it to James Williams, open in the flat. Elyria did not defend it real well, and to James's credit, a mark of a good runner is when you're in the open, make the first man miss. He did. Touchdown, Admiral King.
With 4 minutes, 23 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter of play. On the extra point attempt, Rossitano doing the holding, Jordan Buck on the kick, and it's in the air, and it should be good, and it is. And with as we indicated, 4:23 remaining in the 1st half, it's 21 for the Pioneers, 7 for the Admirals. I don't know, John, you hate to say this, but boy, I'll tell you, the Admirals on this kickoff seem awfully confused. For the longest time, they had 10 players on the field, finally got the 11th man in.
That's good.
Jordan Buck on the kickoff, a long one taken inside the 5-yard line. Nat Nagy on the far side, taken out of bounds by a host of Admiral tacklers. Chris Miller leading the charge.
Well,
also in on the stop real quickly, Miguel Cordona.
I'm going to tell you why they only had 10 out there. They wanted to give Jordan Buck just a little bit of rest so he could rev up his leg because he kicked that ball, I would say, down to the 5-yard line. And the Admiral King kickoff team did a pretty good job of keeping contained. Larry's got a long way to go. So that's why they did that. You see that?
Ball is on the 18-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Bodnar, the quarterback. And the give is to Bivens. Bivens looking for running room on the far side. He's going to be brought down on the 20-yard line. Pickup of about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Making the stop for the Admirals, Jeff Hands. Or David Hands. David Hands.
Jeff Bivens on this play. Elyria was in an I. They ran the ISO that scored their 1st touchdown. Jeff Bivens seems to be a nice runner. Tried to bounce it outside. David Hands would have none of it. He's got to tackle.
Bodnar's give this time is to the fullback, Stewart. Stewart gets up to about the 25-yard line. Hands again in on the tackle.
Football is an amazing sport. Elyria just ran a trap with Brian Gulwicki at left guard doing a nice job. And you know why that play didn't go for more? I am sure that the fullback, Bettis Stewart, ran into one of his own linemen going for a linebacker, probably the tight end on the weak side. And when he ran to his own man, it stopped him cold. Shame for Elyria on that play.
Pickup of 6 yards on the play. Make it 7 yards, 3rd down and 1. Bivens on the carry, picks up a 1st down for the Pioneers. Chris Miller making the tackle. The ball will be spotted just over the 35-yard line. Clock is stopped momentarily with 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
From up in the stands or maybe in the TV screen, you won't see it. But Jeff Bivens is a cutback runner. From the I position, isolation, looks like he's going to run right behind the tackle over, but he's always looking for a cutback. Nice runner.
From the 36-yard line, 1st and 10. The fake give to Bivens. It's Bodnar keeping the ball over on the far side, gets across the 40-yard line. Again, a host of Admirals in on the stop.
Very effective play from the standpoint of Elyria. They pull the front side guard. They show the fullback Bettis, who has been one of their strong runners inside. Everybody's going to suck up and take him on. And what does the quarterback Bodnar do? He's done this before, takes the ball away from the fullback and runs outside. Very nice offensive play.
Pick up of 5 yards on that play. It's 2nd down and 5. Clock is running with just over 2 minutes remaining. And we've got some movement, and that should be an offensive offsides. That'll put the Pioneers back the 5 yards that Bodnar picked up.
Officials are very unforgiving when an offensive lineman moves after he's down the 3-point stance, even though the Admiral King defensive line moved also.
Speaking of Jeff Bivens a moment ago, John, last week against Berea Mid-Park, Bivens had the ball 16 times for 51 yards, a 3.2 average. I think his average will be just a mite better tonight.
Unfortunately for Admiral King.
Yes. The give is to the fullback, Burtis Stewart. And the tackle made by John Gall.
Okay, here's a play that I've always liked. It's called a wraparound draw. Elyria took Jeff Bivens, made him the wide receiver to the Admiral King side, so it was a single back set. Bodnar dropped back like he was going to throw the ball, and guess what he did? He just wrapped it around the right hip of the fullback, and the fullback, Bettis Stewart, made a couple people miss. Another mark of a good runner.
And they're going to bring the chains out to see if a first down was in fact picked up on that play. If so, that was a 10-yard pickup by Stewart. And it's a first down. Stewart, 10 yards on his play there. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers, the ball on their own 46-yard line with 1 minute 35 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Elyria's got a nice 1-2 punch. They've got a nice tailback, nice fullback, and a quarterback who seems to be able to run and throw.
On the 1st and 10, the give again is to Stewart. Stewart picks up another first down. And making the stop once again, John Gall.
Elyria is in a 2-minute offense, which means after this fullback trap, they are lining up in the line of scrimmage. They know the plays that they want to run from this point.
On the 41-yard line in Admiral King territory, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Clock is running with 1 minute 10 seconds. Again, Stewart, the ball carrier, gets the ball up to about the 35-yard line. Jason Williams in on the tackle.
Consecutive plays to the fullback. Real nice audible by the quarterback. See him calling out the audible?
On the 2nd down play, 2nd and 4, it's a pass, and it's almost intercepted by the Admirals. The intended receiver for the Pioneers was Zach Kaufman, broken up and almost intercepted by David Hands.
Gosh, the audible call by the Elyria quarterback, nice job. The inside receiver at the top of the screen was free. He had broken past everybody. David got fooled of he's at free safety. To his credit, he came back. Game-saving touchdown breakup.
3rd down and 4. Bodnar back to pass again, looking for a receiver, and connects. Should be the first down that the Pioneers were looking for, and that'll stop the clock. The receiver on that play for the Pioneers, Jesse Laddie.
I'll come back to this audible if we get a chance here.
Laddie, a 200-pound senior tight end. On the 1st and 10, Bodnar looking to pass. Throws it into the end zone and off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Ivan Brown.
Ron, on the previous play, it's the first time that Elyria has thrown to their tight end. The quarterback, Bodnar, rolled out to the Admiral King side, and the Elyria tight end was in the route. He zipped in and then came out towards the Admiral King sideline. On this play, the two receivers at the top of the screen kind of came in towards the middle, and then they both veered off, one running through the goalpost, the other one in the corner. Nearly a touchdown.
2nd and 10 from the Admiral's 30-yard line. 29 seconds remaining in the first half. Bodnar looking to pass again, running to the far side, being chased. He still has the ball, and he'll go out of bounds just about the 22-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 22 seconds remaining. Not enough for a first down.
Nice presence of mind by the quarterback Bodnar. He rolled out to the right. I thought he had a receiver on a chair route open. A chair is you show the square out, and then you continue up the field in the sideline, but the quarterback was well beyond the line of scrimmage. He had to run the ball.
All right, 3rd down play now for Bodnar. 3rd down and 3. And the give is to Stewart, tucked it into his hand. Stewart up the middle, 1st down, gets the ball inside the 10-yard line. And that'll stop the clock with 14 seconds remaining. The Pioneers lining up real quick. Jeff Tillman making the stop for the Admirals, saving the touchdown. And Bodnar will just spike the ball to the ground, and 11 seconds remaining on the clock.
Elyria has shown this before. The previous play, the quarterback rolled to the right, so what did Bodnar do again? Rolled a little bit to the right, but what did he do? Wrap around draw to Bettis Stewart. And this kid is a load, and he took it down nearly, or inside the 10. Nice tackle by Jeff Tillman. Let's see if Elyria puts the ball in the end zone with only 11.3 seconds left on a pass. Oh,
Bivens in motion, and we're going to have a couple of flags here. We had 2 players in motion, and Bodnar just throws it out of the end zone, but that'll bring the ball back for the Pioneers, and there's only 4.6 seconds now remaining.
You just saw a no-no in high school football. This is not arena football or street football. You cannot put 2 people in motion at the same time, and I think both wingbacks are going to get talked to at halftime.
Yes. Both Bivens and Zach Kaufman.
Oh, that's too bad in Elyria's point of view, because that's a mental mistake, and we've talked about it before. The physical mistakes are more than acceptable. Sometimes the other guy across the line is better than you, but to have 2 people in motion, and it looks like they're walking off for a field goal with 4.6 seconds left.
All right, it's going to be spotted on the 12-yard line. They'll be kicking from the 20, add 10 to that, a 30-yard field goal. And it's going to be Mike Kirschbaum doing the kicking. The ball is up, and it is good. And the Pioneers add 3 more points to the score as the clock runs out here at the end of the first half. It's the Elyria Pioneers 24, the Admiral King Admirals 7. And we'll be back with the start of the second half right after this timeout for impressions.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
We're all set to get this second half underway here at George Daniels Stadium. The blue and gold of the Admirals trailing the red and white of the Pioneers 7-24 or 24-7 depending on what side of the field you're on. Jordan Buck will be kicking off for the Admirals. The Admirals will defend the north goal here in the third quarter while the Pioneers defend the south goal. Buck's kick taken on the 10-yard line by the Pioneers. coming up the middle, finally brought down at about the 30-yard line. And for the Pioneers, Ivan Brown taking that kickoff. The ball spotted on the 31-yard line where it's going to be 1st and 10.
Elyria had a nice middle wedge return, which had 5 people about the 20-yard line. I thought for a minute that it was going to pop. Somebody came in from Admiral King and did a nice job. We couldn't get his number.
Josh Bodnar still in at quarterback for the Pioneers. And the give is to Jeff Bivens. Bivens picks up a couple of yards, gets the ball up close to the 35-yard line. Tackle made by the Admirals.
Thought we saw 76, but maybe
there is no 76 on the Admirals roster.
There's no 76. Well, bad read on my part.
Have you thought about seeing Dr. Gratisek?
I don't know about him, but I've been asked to see somebody. My wife told me to do that.
Or any of the fine optometrists in the Lorain area.
Absolutely.
And a little bit of a mix-up in the backfield by the Pioneers. That's going to be a loss for them. Tackle made by the Admirals, and there's no 64 either, John.
Well, I'm going to keep looking until I find you a 64, and there isn't one out there. Gosh. All right. On this first play, Elyria has put their wing back in motion. They've got an I backfield. They pulled the front side guard. Looked like the quarterback was going to keep it, but they gave it to the tailback. Nice job by the Phantom number 64. Oh, man.
It's going to be 3rd and 8 now for the Pioneers. And the give is to Bivens. Bivens is loose. He may have picked up the first down. Tillman making the tackle for the Admirals.
As I told you in the first half, whenever Elyria shows 2 wingbacks and a single fullback, that you've got to look for the misdirection. And they put the right half in motion, but that left the tailback Bivens in the left wingback, and he ran the same play that they scored a touchdown on their second score in the first half. Nearly popped it again.
Ball on the 41-yard line for the Pioneers, 1st and 10. In motion, Kaufman. The pitch back to Bivens again, looking for running room on the far side. He's not going to find it. Loss of about a yard on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 11. John Gall in on the tackle for the Admirals.
They put the wingback Kaufman in motion to the Admiral King sideline. They had the I backfield, Elyria did. Gave it to Bivens. John Gall in his defensive secondary position spot made a nice stop.
Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. Again, Kaufman in motion coming to the near side. The give is to the fullback, Berta Stewart. And the Admirals defense rising to the occasion here. Stopped him right at the 40-yard line, making the stop for the Admirals, Alan Penny.
I'll tell you what Admiral King is doing defensively. They're probably, I think they're playing what's called a bear defense, which means they are covering both the center and both guards, putting somebody in C gap to that outside tackle of Elyria. And what's happening is Elyria can't run their trapping game. They're having a hard time with their pulling game.
3rd down and 11. The give this time to Nagy. Nagy finds the running room, and he has scored 2 touchdowns. He's about ready to make it number 3 as he goes into the end zone from the 40-yard line. A 60-yard run by Nat Nagy, a 160-pound junior. Unbelievable.
Elyria just ran for the first time. Might have been an adjustment. Remember, we always talk about adjustments at halftime? And we just got done talking about Admiral King's bear defense. But to take care of that, what Elyria did was they ran a counter tray. They pulled their backside guard and tackle, had enough to deal with the short side, and it broke. Nagy took it for a long run. Good score.
Nick Russo will do the holding. Mike Kirschbaum will try the point after. And the ball is in the air, and it is Good. Why the officials wait so long to put up those hands will baffle me till who knows when. Anyway, with 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, it's the Elyria Pioneers 31, the Admiral King Admirals 7.
Before we get this kickoff return after Elyria just scored with that counter tray play, I'd like to mention that Matt Rossitano, in the first week of the season, broke a school record by throwing 5 touchdown passes, and we found out that ESPN got wind of what he did, found out what his GPR was, his grade point ratio average, and because of the good grades and the athletic prowess with that 5 touchdown record, they are going to interview him, and he's been selected as their scholar recipient, athlete scholar recipient, and he will be interviewed next week, and whether he ends up on TV or not will remain to be seen. But Ron, quite an honor for a Lorain athlete.
Absolutely, absolutely. The first in my memory that we've ever had an ESPN athlete scholar.
I think you're exactly right.
Okay, the ball out of bounds on the far side on Violon's kickoff. The Admirals will take over on the 22-yard line, 1st and 10. I think had the Admiral deep receiver just let the ball go, it would have gone out of bounds, and that would have been a
to the 35-yard line.
35-yard line rather than the 22.
One of those mental mistakes again.
In fact, as he picked it up, his foot was out of bounds, so that's where they're starting.
You're absolutely right.
Williams in motion. Rossitano to pass, hits Williams in the flat, looking for some running room, coming back to the middle. He's going to cut across and gets up to the 30. Fumble on the play. Fumble on the play. The Pioneers indicate they've got it. And it's number 34, Zach Kaufman, who came up with the loose ball.
And Brett Godbold, I believe, was the one who may have caused it, Ron, number 23. What Admiral King did there, run and shoot, motion with the left half to trips to Admiral King's sideline. They threw in the flat again to James Williams, which netted them a touchdown the first half. James Williams tried to get extra yardage, and it popped loose. Bad luck for the Admirals.
Good luck for the Pioneers as they take over 1st and 10 on the Admirals' 30-yard line. Bodnar fakes the handoff. He's got the ball, looking for some of the pass too, and on the far side, the intended receiver, Jesse Laddie.
The quarterback Bodnar just missed a touchdown to Jeff Bivens, who was the split end to the Admiral King sideline, who was doing a post, and I'm sure the quarterback just didn't see him as he booted to the right. John Gall nearly intercepted. But Jeff Bivens was open for a touchdown.
On the incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10. The give is to the fullback, Stewart. Stewart's got all kind of running room as he gets the ball up to the 15-yard line. 1st down for the Pioneers. Tackle made by Gall, John Gall.
Elyria has done this consistently. Whenever they've needed a tough run inside, they have run it with Bettis Stewart, and the left guard, Brian Glowicki, is doing the trapping, and Admiral King has not stopped that play at all. I would like to see the fullbacks per yard carry at the end of the game.
In fact, Berta Stewart was not even the original starting fullback for tonight's ball game. It was to have been Darren Miles, and Coach Kirschbaum indicated this evening that it would be Stewart. And he's doing a great job. Bivens on the play. Bivens to the 10, the 5, and he may have stepped. Nope, touchdown. The official on the far sideline indicates touchdown. The Pioneers add 6 more to make it 37-7, and they'll try for the point after.
Kaufman was the right half, went in motion. You had a true eye situation, fullback and tailback, and I had said the first half I didn't know if the fullback had gone the wrong direction. This is Elyria's misdirection play. Fullback Stewart went left. Jeff Bivens took the ball from Bodnar, and he went right, so the backfield combination split up. Admiral King couldn't handle the misdirection.
Russo to hold. Kirschbaum will try the point after. 7:51 remaining in the third quarter. Good snap from center. Kick is up, and it's good. 37-7, 38-7 now the score. The Elyria Pioneers on top. Putting the foot to the ball once again, Kevin Violin. Kicking from his 40. Kick right down the middle. Taken on the 15-yard line by James Williams, coming over to the near side. Williams to the 40, and he's out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. And a 30-yard kickoff return, pushed out of bounds by Ivan Brown, covering for the Pioneers.
James Williams made the Elyria kickoff team think that he was going to take the ball inside Admiral King's right hash. He dipped in there. And the outside contained people on the left-hand side of the kickoff team dipped in with him. Well, guess what? James Williams took it outside and has a nice return to the 45-yard line. Nice piece of running.
Admiral's ball, 1st and 10 from their own 45. Good field position. See now if they can take advantage of it. Williams in motion, coming to the near side. Rossitano to pass, and hits David Hands. Hands picks up a 1st down for the Admirals, gets the ball into Pioneer territory up close to the 35-yard line before being stopped by Brad Washburn.
All right, David Hands, whenever he's been used, has done a great job. He was at the top of the screen as a receiver. There was 3-step drop by Matt Rossitano, and David Hands simply did a quick post. Everybody laid off David. 1st down and more.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Williams in motion. And the pass is to Jeff Tillman. Tillman picks up another 1st down for the Admirals. Wide open up the middle. And that ball will be spotted on about the 19-yard line. 1st and 10.
Love the call, and I'll tell you how we describe it. Run and shoot, motion left half, comes behind the tailback to trips. Matt Rossitano fakes to Alan Penny with the fullback going right, but Jeff Tillman ran a pop route. It was a pop route pass, play action. There was no coverage on number 84, Jeff Tillman. Nice play.
John Gall split wide to the right. Williams in motion, and it's Rossitano hitting David Hands. Hands. Another 1st down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Admirals. Way in the far corner. That ball's going to be spotted on about the 2 or 3 yard line.
I'll tell you what David Hands is making the coaches look at. Why messenger with him and not keep him on the field the entire time? Because right now Chris Miller and David Hands are doing the messaging. But what happened here? 3-step drop again by Matt. David pulled up on a short hitch. Then Matt threw in the outside corner. David knew where the ball was off the hitch. Great play. Inside the 5.
On the 1st and goal, Williams in motion. Rossitano on the keeper, and he's in the end zone. Matt Rossitano putting 6 more points on the board for the Admirals. 38-13 now with 6:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
The offensive coordinator, the offensive coaches called Matt Rossitano's name on that play. They showed the motion off the run and shoot. Matt took it over on the left-hand side. It looked like it was going to be option, but there didn't seem to be anybody trailing. I think the coach just says, Matt, you're good enough for ESPN to get interviewed with. Put it in for the touchdown, which is what he did.
Rossitano to do the holding. Jordan Buck on the point after. Good kick. And the Admirals now with 14 points trail the Elyria Pioneers by 24. It's 38-14. Kicking off for the Admirals, deep receivers for the red and white, Nat Nagy, Zach Kaufman, and Ivan Brown. Beautiful kick by Jordan Buck, taken on about the 10-yard line. And we've got Nat Nagy. He is on his way. He may be chased out of bounds by Jordan Buck. And there is a flag. A flag back on the 30-yard line. The only person between Nat Nagy and the goal line was the kickoff man, Jordan Buck, who is a member of the boys' soccer team. He's only here on this football team to kick the ball.
And to be a safety with what he just did is that the kicker is the safety on the kickoff team, and he is the last resort, like the free safety on the defensive package. And Matt will get, Jordan Buck should get some kind of an emblem for what he just did. But
I'd give him 2.
Okay, well, hey, let's give him 3. The heck with 1 or 2. Okay. Mr. Quinlan's told us it was clipping on Elyria, so that great run is going to come back. And this has plagued Elyria, or plagued Admiral King in the first game that we saw with them, is that they are giving up the middle, and Elyria ran a middle wedge. So if the Admiral King players are going to go around the wedge, it's easy enough to see why this thing would pop.
You know, the amazing thing again, and this is just not thinking with Matt Nagy almost to the goal line, why a clip would take place back on the 35-yard line. I mean, there's no reason for it.
And you sound like an old coach, because guess what? That will be brought up in films at Eli Stadium tomorrow morning about 10 o'clock. Hey, the kid's going to score. Don't hit anybody.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers on their own 49-yard line. And the give is to Bivens. Bivens going to be brought down right about the line of scrimmage, maybe pick up a yard on the play. Host of Admirals in on the tackle.
Well, what Elyria just did, they put Kaufman, the slot to Elyria's side, in motion. They ran the counter tray play that Elyria just scored off of in the previous series. They thought it was good enough to do it the first time. Why not do it again? Admiral King was up to the challenge.
Gain of a yard, 2nd down and 9. Clock is running with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Kaufman in motion. The give is to, I do believe, the big fullback, Jesus Sanchez on the tackle. Berta Stewart, the fullback, on the play, picks up a yard on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 8.
Football is a man's game, and 2 men met at the point of attack. The fullback, Berta Stewart from Elyria, and Jesus Sanchez at the right defensive tackle, and boy, was that a hit by Jesus.
You have
nice
a 197-pound ball carrier being slammed by a 265-pound defensive right tackle. Kaufman on the play. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds, making the play for the Admirals, Alan Penny. Again, no gain on that play, or about a yard at the most, so it's going to be 4th down and 7 for the Pioneers. The ball on the Admirals' 47-yard line.
I've used the word counter tray, and now I've got a little bit of time to explain it. Elyria's backside guard, their weak side guard, and their tight end are pulling to Elyria's side while the strong side of the formation blocks down. This time they ran it with Kaufman instead of Bivens.
Josh Bodnar, the quarterback, doing the punting from his own 41-yard line, and a high punt going to the far sidelines and out of bounds. And the Admirals will take over with 4:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter, 1st and 10. Admirals ball now, 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
Sit in the reverse. There,
It's unbalanced.
And it's James Williams, the ball carrier, on the reverse play, gets the ball up to the 30-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 4 yards on the play, 2nd down and 14.
Admiral King showed this with Toledo Libby, and it worked very, very well. They didn't put James Williams in motion, but they ran the reverse off the left half. Elyria had too much penetration. They took the boot away from Matt Rossitano in the first half. They took the reverse on that play also.
3 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. It's 2nd down. As we indicated, a loss of 4, 2nd down and 14. On their last possession, the Admirals seemed to be so much more successful on those pass plays, and this time Rossitano really rushed, tried to get it over to the far side to Jeff Tillman, almost intercepted by Mike Kirschbaum. It'll be 3rd down and 14 for the Admirals on the incomplete pass.
Well, you bring an interesting point. On the last series, Matt threw a lot of 3-step, and this time there was not 3-step, and that the 3-step negates a lot of pass rush that Elyria would have to give Matt. But you're right. that play there just had no chance with the pressure from the Elyria front lineman.
Well, they had the rush on that play. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. And with the 3rd and 14, chances are we're going to see another passing play. And indeed, Rossitano really rushed, but David Hands managed to come back and get the ball. Not enough, though, for the first down as he is brought down to the ground on the 41-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 3.
Two things happened on the play. The reason why Matt did not have time to throw the ball that time is that Elyria, we talked about Steve Yates last week with Southview, the Elyria strong safety came from the outside, was lined up in the line of scrimmage. He was unaccounted for by Admiral King's scheme, got to Matt. David Hands did a nice job of coming back to the ball when Matt was hit.
On the 4th and 3, the Admirals seem to be going for it. Indeed, Williams in motion. Rossitano looking for that receiver, and he's got an open receiver. John Gall on the 40, and he is still on his feet, brought down on the 20-yard line. Making the stop for the Pioneers, Darnell Hall, the 145-pound junior, saving a touchdown for the Pioneers, but the Admirals will have a 1st and 10 from the Pioneers' 22-yard line is where they're going to spot it.
Shows you what I don't know. 4th and 3, I thought initially Admiral King was going to punt. What they did, motion to trips, Admiral King sideline. Everybody has seen Matt throw to James Williams. They all bunched up on James in the flat and forgot about John Gall, the receiver upfield. John did a nice job after he caught it.
Well, we wished him a happy birthday on the incompletion earlier in the game. Double happy birthday on that completion. And a loose ball. Jeff Tillman trying to grab it. And it's the Pioneers who come up with it. At least that's the way they indicated. And the head official as well.
Admiral King ran the reverse with Jeff Tillman. They did it a little bit before in this series. They came back and did it again. And just to real quickly, a teaching point here, once the ball is on the ground, don't stand up and bend over and try to pick it up. You've got to get in a prenatal position and just curl around the ball. Jeff didn't do that, and unfortunately he's paying the price for it right now because he took a hit.
And he's the injured player on the field. Okay, Jeff Tillman managed to walk off the field on his own power. He was down there for quite some time as we broke away.
It's good to see him get up.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime they can walk off on their own. Well, the Elyria Pioneers on the 1st and 10. Bodnar passing. He's got a receiver all by himself. Nat Nagy. He's going to have another make that a correction. That is not out of bounds.
Fumbled the ball. John Gall popped the ball out inside the 5, preventing him with a touchdown.
That was Mike Parrott. Mike Parrott on the reception. A 155-pound senior split end. Almost made the touchdown.
Great hustle by John Gall from a defensive secondary spot to come up. The reason why the play popped so big, it was play action. Everybody on the Admiral King team bit on the fullback. Bodnar takes the ball after the play action fake. The receiver gets by the secondary, and that's why we're inside the 5.
1st and goal for the Pioneers with 1:52 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The ball on the 4-yard line. Bodnar gives to Bivens. Bivens in the end zone. Touchdown. John Gall making the stop, but once you're across that goal line, it really doesn't make much difference.
Well, once the tailback crosses a line of scrimmage and basically is untouched, when you're inside the 5, defense is in trouble. There was an ISO, Betta Stewart making the block, and Jeff Bivens going in basically untouched.
Russo to hold once again. Kirschbaum will be trying the point after.
Upstairs, guys.
Upstairs?
Good snap, ball's down, kicks in the air, and that's a good extra point. With 1:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play, it's the Elyria Pioneers 45, the Admiral King Admirals 14. Island kicking off for the Pioneers, getting quite a workout tonight. And his kick is taken back on the 10-yard line by James Williams. Williams up to the 30-yard line and brought down finally around the 35. Making the stop, Tristan Dreger for the Pioneers. Pioneers on the defense. The Admirals will be taking over 1st and 10. Kind of interesting this past week, John, the Elyria Pioneers JV team beat the Admiral King JVs 46-16. Right now the score is 45-14 here in this varsity contest.
Well, things have just not gone well for Admiral King since the second half began.
And last week against Berea Mid-Park, the Elyria Pioneers lost by a score of 45-13.
Well, Elyria, to their credit, have played, their first two teams have been against people, good football programs.
Rossitano looking to pass. He's being chased, looking for running room. He's going to go down on the 20-yard line. Big loss on the play of 15 yards where it's going to be 2nd down and 25.
All right, now if you remember a series ago where David Hands caught the ball in a quick slant, the corner at the top of the screen from Elyria played off David Hands. Well, guess what happened this time? He did not. So when David made the quick slant move, Matt Rossitano with the 3-step drop had nobody to throw to. It was a one-pass route to the weak side or to the top of the screen. Matt had to eat the ball. Big loss.
Under a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter with the clock running. John Gall split wide to the right. Rossitano looking to pass again, coming over to the near side, keeping the ball from the 20, lets it go to John Gall, out of his reach, incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 25.
Matt went to boot to the field. Admiral King ran the boot pass, and they ran it to trips, the 3-receiver side. Matt, as he was rolling out to his right, was looking for John Gall, who had run a curl route inside the hash to the sideline. And for a while there, John was open, but the pressure prevented Matt from doing what he had to. And then when he did decide to throw the ball, the route had closed down. Incomplete pass. 3rd and long.
Gall again split wide to the right. On the 3rd down play, Rossitano looking to pass. He's being chased, coming over to the near side. Lets one go to the near sideline, incomplete. It'll be a punting situation for the Admirals, 4th and 25, with 31 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Certainly not Matt's fault this time. The pass protection broke down immediately. Matt was flush from the pocket. John Gall looked to be the primary receiver. And to John Gall's credit, he tried to come back to the ball on a broken route. Incomplete pass, Admiral King's punting.
Coming into this ball game, John Gall had 4 receptions for 83 yards, a 20.8 average, scoring 2 touchdowns in the first game of the season. Jordan Buck punting from his 5-yard line. A good punt. Hits on the 50, rolls, and will be down on the 43-yard line, where the Pioneers will take over with 22 seconds remaining, 1st and 10. Bodnar still leading the Pioneers. Correction on that, we have ourselves a new quarterback for the Elyria Pioneers, Nick Russo leading the team.
Ron, I'll help you on the play. John Gall made the tackle, and Elyria.
Curtis Stewart was the ball carrier.
Okay.
The big fullback still in.
Elyria still has their ones in, and on 1st and 10, they've run the trap all night, and Admiral King has not stopped the trap, and the markers are moving again, 1st and 10.
All right, the ball in Admiral King territory, and we're about ready to run this quarter out, so they'll just wait for the clock to run out. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter of play with 1 quarter remaining, 12 minutes. The Elyria Pioneers on top 45-14, and we'll be back with the start of that 4th and final quarter right after this timeout for First Federal Savings of Lorain.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on cars, boats, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 6 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, and Port Clinton, with a 7th office opening soon in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
Nick Russo in at quarterback for the Elyria Pioneers, a 180-pound sophomore. Stewart still the fullback. And the give is to the fullback. He's still running, gets up to about the 25-yard line before being tackled by Chris Miller. They're going to spot the ball just over the 25, where it's going to be 1st and 10.
Coaching point, Ron. Defensive tackle from Admiral King, defensive left tackle. Wasn't even a part of the play because he got too far upfield. The left guard was a fullback trap. Defensive tackles don't want to lose continuity. They want to hang around the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, offenses are going to take advantage of it and trap them.
Tristan Dreger in motion. The give is to Jeff Bivens. Bivens still driving up close to the 20-yard line before him being brought down by a host of Admiral tacklers. Pickup of about 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Elyria is running Jeff Bivens now out of the tailback spot. They just showed Bettis Stewart out of the fullback spot. They ran an ISO, pounding the football, and doesn't seem like they're having any lack of success with these plays.
Plus, it keeps that clock running.
Let's see if they go to the short side of the formation now.
Dreger in motion. The give is to the fullback, Stewart. Stewart gets across the 20 to about the 18-yard line, and he's brought down from behind by Mark Fox, a 254-pound junior left tackle.
Well, Elyria's showing the ball twice to the fullback and once to the tailback between the tackles. It's 3rd and a couple, and I would certainly think that you're going to see Jeff Bivens on a perimeter play on a sweep, either to the strength or to the short side.
The officials spot the ball on the 19-yard line. 3 more yards to go for the 1st down for the Pioneers. Dreger again in motion. And the give is again to Stewart. He gets the ball up close to the 15, and that should be enough for a 1st and 10 for the Pioneers as the officials call time.
Well, if it was good enough to get 8 yards and a 1st down in the first half, it ought to be good enough to get 3 yards in the 4th quarter. And what Elyria did was they ran their fullback on a trap. And it's 1st and 10, and these sticks are moving.
And as soon as the sticks are in place, the clock continues.
When you have a fullback and set up the middle like Elyria has, it makes everything else so much dangerous.
Dreger in motion again. Russo hands off to Stewart. Stewart gets the ball up close to the 10-yard line. John Gall, Dave Hands in on the tackle for the Admirals.
I think at this point, Elyria is just, they're running out the clock like you say. They haven't varied the plays. It's been tailback or fullback inside, and Elyria's line is still pounding.
Ball is on the 11-yard line, 2nd down and 5. Russo hands off to Bivens. Bivens looking for some running room, gets across the 10-yard line to maybe about the 8-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd and maybe 2. In on the tackle, Mark Fox for the Admirals, along with James Williams.
Isolation to Jeff Bivens between the tackles. Elyria hasn't shown any perimeter plays on this situation. And at this point, I think they would probably go rather well. Admiral King's definitely looking inside.
On the third down play from the 8-yard line, the give is to the big fullback, Stewart. Mark Fox in on the tackle. Official stopped the clock. Check to see if that first down, and it has been made. First and goal for the Pioneers. The ball just over the 5-yard line.
Tell you, the unsung heroes offensively for Elyria tonight have been that offensive line. Brian Glowicki, Jesse Latea, Chuck Hood, Anthony Quinn, John Jericho, and Mike Holtzman. They've done a number on the Admiral King's defense.
And the give is to Stewart. Stewart picking up a couple of yards on the play. Just a bit closer to that end zone. Ball spotted on the 2-yard line, second and goal. Limping off the field for the Admirals, John Evans.
He's been limping almost the entire game.
Again, Stewart the ball carrier, and he's going to be, still on his feet, and he just lunges over that goal line. It looked like he was going to be brought down, unable to get into that end zone, but you talk about second, third, fourth effort on the part of that young man. It was there.
Put a kid in the weight room, develop his quadriceps, which are his thighs, work on that back end. You keep your legs moving. You don't want to go down, you don't.
And we have an injured player on the field. David Rice is down. Russo will be doing the holding, and Kirschbaum attempting the point after. David Rice had to be helped off the field, apparently an injury to his left leg. And we have a flag here in this point after.
Ron, David Rice was the tackler on the last Elyria touchdown, and he took the brunt of that second effort by the Elyria fullback. And hopefully it's just a sprained ankle, and he'll be all right.
5-yard penalty marched off against the Pioneers. That'll put the ball back to the 15-yard line. And a 25-yard point after. Good snap. Kick is in the air, and it is good. And with 7:37 remaining in the ball game, the Elyria Pioneers on top now, 52-14. An opportunity once again to remind you that this Violin one more time on the kickoff for the Elyria Pioneers. And a good kick. Taken on the 15-yard line by the Admirals. Being brought up, Alan Penny out of bounds on about the 34-yard line. Stop made by Brett Godbolt for the Pioneers. The Admirals ball now 1st and 10.
Alan Penny has done what a couple of other runners on the kickoff return for Admiral King have done. Looked like they were going to take it inside, bounced it outside. Elyria lost contain, and Alan Penny was able to pick up a couple yards. Godbolt family, I remember them years in coaching.
Oh, absolutely.
Godbolt family has been the Elyria mainstay for years. I'm sure that's all part of the same crew.
From their own 34-yard line, the give is to the Admirals' Wesley Nixon. Nixon, big loss on the play. Back to about the 25-yard line. Mike Kirschbaum making the stop for the Pioneers.
Out of the run and shoot, the left half went in deep motion behind Alan Penny. And this is the first time we've called the Nixon name. And it just too much experience on the Elyria defense. That play was strung out, and there was a loss, big loss, more than 5 yards.
Anthony Penna in at quarterback for the Admirals. Loss of 10 yards on that last play, 2nd down and 20. Coach Tom Steiner obviously recognizing that the ball game is out of hand, putting in some of his second teamers, giving them that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And that's what growth is all about.
Absolutely.
Flag on that play before the ball was actually snapped. Penalty marched off against the Pioneers, giving the Admirals an extra 5, so it's now 2nd down and 15. Penna hands off. Trying to see who the ball carrier was. There is a flag, however.
It was against Admiral King. The wide receiver, Admiral King's left split end, was in split ends. You got to have 7 people on the line, and he can't be in movement at all, so it was a procedural call against Admiral King.
Penalty declined by the Pioneers. Penalty, as John mentioned, against the Admirals. Now it's 3rd down and 15. Nixon in motion. And the give is to Nixon, and Nixon is going nowhere. Gets stopped at the 30-yard line, where it's going to be 4th down and a punt situation for the Admirals.
Elyria is calling that there's a fumble. I guess the officials don't agree. They put their fist up, indicating 4th down. Motion by Wesley Nixon, went to the tailback spot, got the ball on the second handoff, and really got nowhere for his efforts.
All right, Jordan Buck counting his teammates, making sure there's 10 others beside himself. Especially when you start substituting like this, sometimes some people get lost in the shuffle. Jordan will be punting from about his 15-yard line. Clock is running with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the ball game. 52-14, the Pioneers on top. And the officials throw the flag, delay of game. Another 5 yards will be marched off. On the 4th down, low snap picked up by Jordan. A beautiful spiral kick taken on about the 35-yard line by the Pioneers' Zach Kaufman. Driven out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, where the Admirals will go on the defense and the Pioneers will take over 1st and 10 from their own 43. All right, now I think, John, we have a lot of new players in the ball game for the Elyria Pioneers.
Yes.
Tremaine Jackson is in at fullback now. And the pass play down the field. The receiver on that play, Nate Lear. And Lear goes into the end zone for a touchdown. Nate Lear, a 185-pound senior. All right, Ruscio holding. Kirschbaum puts the ball through the uprights. It's now the Elyria Pioneers 59, the Admiral King Admirals 14 with 4:43 remaining in the ball game. Allen kicking off for the Pioneers. Low kick. Hitting on the 25, picked up on the 15 by the Admirals. Getting the ball up close to their own 35-yard line. Trying to catch the David Hands on the kickoff return, brings it back to the 35-yard line.
Nice return.
I know, John, on that last and first offensive play by the Elyria Pioneers on the long pass and the touchdown, a lot of the Admiral King fans turned around at the Elyria coaches here in the press box and gave them peace of mind.
I'll bring it up on here in the next play.
They weren't too happy about the Pioneers, what do they say, piling it on? But And a flag.
Well, you can see King definitely has their seconds in, and they had 2 people in motion like Elyria did in the first half. But getting back to your point, you know, it's a hard thing to call, or maybe even a hard thing to address. But you know, when you're up in the 50s and there's a point spread of 30 points, and the first play of that second group that Elyria brings in, they throw a play action pass, pull the guard, fake to the tailback, roll out to the right, throw to the wide receiver. Hey, I think you can run trap, isolation, sweep, and run the clock out. Like Elyria did when they had their ones in on the last series that the ones were in when David Rice got hurt on that play.
Yes.
Enough said.
On the penalty, back 5 yards, 1st and 15 for the Admirals. They're on their own 30-yard line. And a mix-up at the line of scrimmage. There won't be any gain on that play. Well, I stand corrected. A pickup of 2 yards on the play. It's now 2nd down and 13. Clock is running with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the ball game. Donnie Hands now in at tailback for the Admirals. Tillman in motion. The ball given to Tillman. He's up to the 35, the 40, out of bounds on about the 44-yard line. Not quite enough for a first down for the Admirals.
Hey, Ron, real good for Jeff Tillman. The first ball game, just constructive criticism. I said when a right half runs left, you want to put the ball in the left arm, and he did that. And it was he was in motion, went to the tailback spot, got the ball in the sweep. But what was also nice, he finished off his run and leveled an Elyria secondary player. And nice run, nice play by Admiral King.
Pickup of 11 yards on the play, 3rd down and about 2. Penna hands off to Nixon, and Nixon gets up close to the 45-yard line. And it's a first down for the Admirals. The ball spotted just inside their own 45.
We are not trying to... Oh, okay. We've got a second list. That was Tim Powell at the linebacker spot who made the tackle. Tim Powell did a nice job with Wesley Nixon. Good runners have got to finish the run. Tim Powell made sure that he didn't.
Tillman in motion, and the give is to Tillman. Tillman gets up close to the mid-stripe, brought down by a host of Pioneer tacklers.
Jeff Tillman running to his left on a second handoff after going in motion to tailback spot.
Gain of 5 yards on the play. It's 2nd down and 5.
I'll tell you, Elyria's got an awful lot of people in their roster. They showed up here with 2 buses, and we had the first sheet here.
Like we said, 64 players on the Elyria roster, while the Admirals only have 32.
Right.
That's why we got to get that flag football going here in Lorain. Get these youngsters, and we've got movement on the line. Who was drawn off?
Well, once again, they'll call it a procedure for Admiral King, I'm sure. Unless somebody lined up defensively in the neutral zone for Elyria. Getting back to your point with the flag football, I was wrong. They said Elyria was in the neutral zone, so it was not procedure for King. The flag football seems to be a go. I know that the administrators, site supervisors are meeting next week. I would imagine signups are going to start in a few weeks, maybe by the first week in October. 6th graders at 11 different sites can play some intramural co-ed flag football.
All right, the ball on the Pioneer 45-yard line. Admirals with the 1st and 10. Nixon in motion, and the give is to Nixon. Looking for somewhere to run, and he's not going to find it, and he's brought down for a loss back inside King's territory at about the 49. There might have been a fumble, too.
Elyria's
as the
defense is walking off.
Yeah, the Pioneers are walking off the field, and the offense is coming on. So Nixon not only thrown for a loss, but losing the ball. Pioneers recovering the fumble. 1:36 remaining in the ball game. Pioneers 1st and 10 on the mid-stripe.
We had talked about Southview last week about young kids running east and west. That's what Wesley Nixon did.
Russo, the quarterback, hands it off to Tristan Dreger. Dreger picks up a couple of yards on the play. Tackle made by the Admirals' Willie Mikado. Ball spotted on the Admirals' 46-yard line. Pick up of 4 yards, 2nd down and 6. Under a minute remaining in this ball game. Clock continues to run.
Could be our last one.
Russo hands off to his fullback. The ball carrier is for the Pioneers, Tremaine Jackson.
Number 32,
And again, the tackle made by Willie Mercado. 1st and 10 for the Elyria Pioneers. While the chains were being moved, the clock stopped. Now it's rolling with 35 seconds. Counting down. This, more than likely, should be the last play of the ball game. Russo hands off this time to Tristan Dreger. Dreger getting up to about the 15-yard line. Another 1st down, and that'll stop the clock with 14 seconds remaining. Ball spotted on the Admiral's 16-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Elyria Pioneers. Now the clock continues to run, and they won't even run a play. And that's going to be the end of the ball game with the Elyria Pioneers leading. Team for the Admirals. Well, the end of the ball game here at George Daniels Stadium, the end of the 3rd week of high school football here, and the Elyria Pioneers going home with a 59-14 victory over the Admirals, their first win of the 1999 season. And John, by the way, it is the 499th victory in the history of the Elyria Pioneers, and I'm sure that Coach Kirschbaum is looking for that next big win so that the Pioneers can hit 500. How do you size up the ball game tonight, John?
Well, Elyria had a tough defense, but besides the defense, I think the key point of the game was Elyria's offense, and that's evident by the 59 points. You had a quarterback in Bodnar who could certainly throw the ball real well. He kept the ball, ran the perimeter, did boot, just ran his team real well. Had a punishing fullback in Bettis Stewart. I don't think Admiral King stopped him on the trap all night. I think the tailback, Jeff Bivens, with ISO, with counter tray, was just more between the fullback, the tailback, and the quarterback. And then a young man by the name of Lyle, who scored a couple touchdowns. So Elyria just had too much offense for an inexperienced young Admiral King football team, and sweet win for Elyria, I'm sure. Coach Kirschbaum.
Okay, next week here at George Daniels Stadium, we'll be back with the Lorain Southview Saints as they take on Toledo Scott. And that should be quite a ball game, John, because it was Toledo Scott last year who gave the Saints their first loss.
And I'll throw something out too. I was told that the Toledo Scott's tailback won the 100-yard dash in the state finals in the track this past spring. So that should put a little bit of excitement with the barn burner.
We'll see some speed then next Friday.
Right.
Meanwhile, the Admiral King Admirals will be hitting the road. They'll be going to Loudonville next week, and in fact, their next 4 games are on the road. So it's going to be some time before we see the Admirals back here at George Daniels Stadium. Until next Friday, when the Southview Saints play host to Toledo Scott. Again, the final score here at George Daniel, the Elyria Pioneers 59, the Admiral King Admirals 14. For my partner, John Nesbitt, our cameraman, director, and producer, Bob Quinlan, I'm Ron Bacalar.